Everyone. I'd like to welcome you here this morning to our webinar. Our webinar is going to be featuring the Operator 10, the new septic hauling feature that we have in the program. Um, just so you know that this is a new feature that will be going out to all our wastewater product owners. It'll be coming out here probably sometime here in the near future. But we wanted to give you an overview of what it is and what we're doing. Um, my name's BJ Yoder. I'm with the tech support and sales department. I've been with Allmax for going on 20 years, and we would like to, and again, I'd like to just welcome you to this. There will be a recording and there will be a link sent out later after the webinar is over. So with that being said, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at the new septic hauling feature and why we added it. We're going to talk about why we added it. We're going to talk about how to set it up, how it works, and then the reporting capabilities that will become because of this. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open the program up here for us and we'll get started. So inside the program, what you'll see is when you get your update and the update is installed, what you'll end up seeing is you will see a new area up here at the top in your menu bar called septic hauling. Now, the reason we added septic hauling to the program, it's like a lot of our features that we have. A lot of the features that we have in the program are due to clients and users' request. And I'm going to just say this right now because that if you have an idea for a new feature, or if you're wanting to see something added like such as septic hauling, that's one of the reasons we did add it is because we had several clients ask us about it. Feel free to contact us, send it to get out on our website. You can send a message out, things along that lines, and we will add that to our queue and look at developing those new features in the future. Okay. So that's why septic hauling was done. My background being in wastewater is we did have a lot of the facilities I deal with and a lot of them that I used to work with. We did receive septic. Now that septic being of what we're doing and why we're receiving it, we need to track it a little separately. Maybe there's a cost value involved with the client, the hauler that is bringing it in. Maybe there's a cost value, so we want to track that. And then maybe there's some lab tests that you're doing on it, such as a pH or conductivity, things along that line that you wanted to track before you receive it, make sure everything's okay. So with that, the septic hauling was designed. Um, we are like I said, this will be coming out in the next version release, the 1125.8090. When you do get that release, once you do it, this is not a paid feature that you have to have. As long as you have your MSP up to date, when you get this new installer comes out and we tell you, hey, this new one's coming out, then at that point, once you install it, you will have access to it immediately. So it's not something that you have to pay extra for. This is just a new feature that we're adding into the program. So with that being said, the setup of the program is very simple. First thing we do is we have under septic hauling, like I said, we have three main areas that we want you to define. First one, and on all three of these, just to let you know, if you don't predefine them, you can add them on the fly as you go. So, and I'll show you that. But the first thing is discharge types. One of the things that I have found in working in plants and talking to people, there's usually two types of septic that comes in. There's a domestic waste that would be coming from your porta potties, things along that lines. But then you may have industrial waste coming in as well. So you can add as many of these as you want. It's just a matter of going in. You hit the plus sign, and it allows you to go in and call it what you want. So if you have something particular, maybe you want to break it down a little bit farther. Maybe you want to go and have it as porta pots. Maybe you want to go and break it down by septic tank hauling, cleaning, or whatever. Again, up to you, as many of those as you want to define, and they're very simple to do. You just, again, hit plus and you can go and you can add them to your list. The next thing that we want to do is I'm going to skip discharge accounts. We'll come back to that here in a second. But haulers. What this allows you to do is go in and define any of your haulers that you have coming into that dump into your facility. So in this case, we have 4 of them set up here that I've defined. But how we set them up, again, it's just a matter of going in, hitting the plus sign, giving them a name and the address. That address, and we'll show you this in a little bit, it actually gets used on some of the billing reports, the billing report that we have. So again, add as many as you want. These can be added on the fly. So you don't have to predefine these. You can go and you can put these in as you want and as you go about it. Now, the next thing we have is discharge accounts. Now, discharge accounts, what it is when a hauler goes and they pick up waste from somewhere, maybe they're emptying porta potties at the local park or whatever, they have an account and they want to track where that came from. Well, that's where discharger accounts come in play. As you go and you add septic hauling, you can add these on the fly. The benefit of having this list here is when you are adding them, you can then filter for something that you want to look at, and you can filter for it and you can find it. So if it's someplace that uses it all the time, it makes it easy to go and grab that information for it. All right. So those are some predefined things. And like I said, on all 3 of those, they can all be defined on the fly. So you don't have to do them right away. So when we go into the septic hauling, what this is going to do is this is going to give you a list of things that you have. Okay. These are septic hauling events, I guess is what you say, that take place. So this list will always grow. It is filterable, just like in any of our grids that we have. We can filter, so I can go in here. I can filter by a certain type. Maybe I want to look at by the hauler. Maybe I want to come in here and I want to just find anybody that's Iggy's, their industrial waste cleaner. I want to filter for their things. I can do so. That's what makes this nice from that standpoint. Now, so how we go and we add a new event, septic hauling event, we just go up here and we hit the plus sign. What the plus sign is going to do, it's going to pop up a window here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select date and time. Now, the reason why we do time as well is because we know we can have multiple of these during a day. All right. So we can go and we can grab a date. We'll grab a time. Let's say it came in this morning at 8 a.m. and then I just hit OK. Now, our facility name, it defaults. If you have more than one facility, you can actually select those. Now, under hauler, it brings up our list of haulers, so I can search for it. I can go and grab whatever I want to do, and I can grab it. Okay, so we're going to grab ESH Septic Tank Service. So we're going to grab them. And discharge account. Now, this is where I was saying it's going to have a list here. All right. But let's say we don't have it. We filter and we can't find it. So then all I have to do is hit the plus sign. And this will give us a way that we can go and we can grab the facility, of course, and then we can put in here. So this was Bob and Kathy Smith, and they're at 806 County Road 20, and we'll just put in here anywhere USA. All right, that's their address. So we save that. So now we can use them again. All right, we have it in there. So we have it so we can put it in there. That's where it came from. Now, what's our discharge type? And just like I said before, we're using domestic waste or industrial. Those are the 2 that I have defined. So we know it's domestic waste. So I'm going to grab it. Now, who's the driver of the truck? John's the driver of the truck. The operator that we have, this is the operator of the plant that is receiving it. So Russ is taking care of that. And they brought in 1,250 gallons. Right? The operator, Russ, he took pH reading, and it was a 7.8. one. And they did a conductivity test. They ran it on there just to verify it. And again, just to come up with what they want to see. This is things that we define in here. And they had a conductivity of 854. Okay. So we have those basic features in here and we've added that. Now, one of the things we can do, let's say you have a septic waste coming in and it happens to be, you just look at it and you go, just something's not right. That smells pretty high of ammonia. Okay. And so you want to run a quick ammonia test on it. Well, what you can do, and you want to track it. So what you can do down here is you can come down here and hit the plus sign. What this will do is this will bring up the list of all your parameters your in your database. So we can go in and we can search for ammonia. I'm going to grab ammonia, and then I can put the result in there. Maybe it was a 42. Well, not 420, but 42. So it's just a way of doing that. And I can add all these parameters as we go. It's nothing that's saved. Maybe it's on a load by load basis. Maybe pH and conductivity itself is going to be all you really need to track. But this will give you a way of adding additional things for some reason that you're doing there. So then what we do is we come in here and we save it. Now it is added to your list. All right. Now we can come in here at this point. We can sort things out. We have everything that we need right here, any additional, and then we just go on through the day. So we get another one that comes up and it came in today, but it came in at about, they were busy. It came in at 9. Again, we grab the hauler from the list. We know it's Iggy's. And this is from over at Bob's Truck Repair. He's been doing some extra stuff, so they had to get some stuff pumped out. And we're going to call this an industrial waste. Janet was the driver. Operator was Phil. He came in and took care of it. And they brought in 1,000 gallons. pH 6.5. They didn't do it. The conductivity on it didn't have to and didn't need anything else, so we save it. All right. So now we have our list, and you'll do that throughout the day. So as things come in, they'll be added in, and you'll be able to go in and see that information and go and have it. All right. And this is the main core of the septic hauling section. This allows you to go in, define all that information. All right. So then what do we do with this? All right. This gives us our list. This gives a thing. You can print out the list if you want. So if you wanted to go and select everything here and you wanted to go and you wanted to print the list out, maybe you wanted to print out the list, we could go and we could just grab all the records and we print out a list. All right. Not a big deal. Flip it to landscape just for the heck of it. And what this will do is this just gives you you're printing the grid list out is what you're doing. This is what's coming in. All right. And what you're doing. You could also go and you want to print the detail out. So again, you can select which records you're going to look at, which ones you're going to grab, and how you want to print them out. Again, it just gives you the more detailed information. It's just a grid of how we're doing things. All right. So it lets you go in and define all that information and just have a list that you can filter out and look at. Okay. Now, that's a very generic type report that you can do. What we have then also then is with the septic hauling under the report section. So if you go to view and you go to reports, what this will do is this opens the reporting section. And then we have the ability of setting up reports for septic hauling. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just filter my list here, and we've got a couple septic haulings in here. So what we can do is just to kind of give you an idea of what they look like. When you create them, they'll be under the new section. Just by hitting add, you'll be able to pick these reports. I'm going to edit them for you. And what we do is this. So under the billing section, the billing report, and again, you'll be able to name these however you want. So you could literally, what you're going to do is set one of these up for every septic hauler that you have. By doing that, you can then come in there and define different information. You can define who it is, what's it to, things along that lines. What your price per gallons is, contact information. You can change the report title if you want. You'll select your your septic hauler. You'll grab it from the list again because we're doing one for them. You can put addresses and things along that lines in here as well. And then once you save it, then you're able to go and run the report. Now, the septic received report, what this is it's a little, I guess, a fancier report than what you get by printing it out of the grid. The only thing that is definable on here is the header report name. Nothing else is defined here. Everything else comes based off of a date range. So it looks at that grid file and it goes from there. All right. So that's what's nice about that. So now if we go and we run these, so for example, let's start with the monthly report. If I go and I produce this report, and again, we're going to reproduce it for May of 25. What this will do is it gives us a report that it is a list of everything that was done during that time. So I'll zoom in here. So it'll take, so during the month of May, we had this many, these are the times they came in. This was the hauler, the discharger address, so where they got it from. How many gallons it was, if there's any EC, PHs, the driver, operator. Then down at the bottom, it'll give you a total of how many loads and how many gallons you had come in. Again, a very simple report, very easy. It's just a little bit more, looks a little nicer than putting it from the grid if you wanted to. Okay. Now, that's one of the rows. Now, the next one that we have is the billing report, and it produces the exact same way, just like we do any of our reports. So we come in here, we'll fetch the data, and we'll print this out. So what this does is based on the information that you have and what was done by that hauler, we're going to get information. So this is septic hauling during the month of May. It's to from, and again, this is information you set up. And you put accounts payable in there. We put our price per gallon. They had 2 loads, 4,500 gallons. This is the amount of the bill. Okay. And then it shows you what each load is and what the amount is for that particular load. And then down at the bottom, you can print this out and you got a signature lines that you can send out and whatnot. But again, the idea here is with this particular load especially, you're going to define it by each one of your septic haulers. That way, so when you have all these set up and you have them all set up and you're ready to go, what you're able to do then is you can create a report set. It's a matter of going in, adding a report set, and adding all those septic haulers right to one spot. Okay. And by doing so, then end of the month, you run it for the month, and then it'll break it down by individual. So you then have reports that you can go and send to your uptown to the finance department and have them go and print them out, do invoices, or maybe they just use that as the invoice. Okay. But that gives you that clarity and gives you a way of putting that septic hauling information out there and using it as a billing type report. Now, one thing to remember when you go and you you go and you produce these reports, and this is something I always like to let people know, by default, we go and we print them. We do a preview and then you can print them. One of the other things that you can do is if you wanted to, you could save this as an Adobe format. By doing so and hitting start, what it'll do is prompt you where you want to put it. And you can go and put this out there and go and see it as a PDF, and you can attach it to an email. Okay, that's one of the things that we have there, and we can go that route and grab that information. Now, I did see a question come in. Let me go and go to the chats here. Let's see. We do not, as of right now, the question was on the billing report, can you put them all on one report? As of right now, no. And the reason being is because we wanted it to do as one, as because you would be sending it to them. Now, not saying that that wasn't something that we can do, where we could go and do a, in the future, develop another report, and we'll put that in our list. That is a summary billing report. What I'm thinking, and maybe you can answer the Wes, maybe you can go and, is this is okay, give me a thumbs up or not. What we're looking at it, what I'm thinking of is we do a summary one where we can add all the haulers to it, and it'll give you the hauler name. It'll say how many gallons they did, and this was the total amount. And then it would just list them all down there. Maybe that would be something that would be beneficial, I guess, from that standpoint. Um, but again, the idea is so that we can go, and right now is we have it set as one individual one, because there may be different people, because we're looking at contact information as well from that standpoint. Now, with the, again, with the septic calling, like I said, like this feature here, if when you guys get this and you have questions on things such as like we had on about a special billing report, let us know, because we have some other things that are that are in the works regarding this, that we will be able to add to. We will be able to add more information to it, maybe come up with some different style of reports, or giving some custom report options with the septic hauling down the road. Um, just again, take a look at this. And like I said, this is going to come out in the next release. When we have it come out, you'll have access to it. Now, with that being said, a couple things I just want to throw out there that will be coming out. Well, that is going to be coming out as well, and we've already started on a limited basis doing it, is we will be having a mobile version for data entry coming out. And you can talk to your sales rep. They can get you the information on that, on cost and how it works, what it works. Basically, what happens with the mobile aspect, if you're interested in that, what it will do is you'll upload your list of location parameters to our cloud holding spot, at which time the operators, based on email logins and things like that, they'll log in, they'll be able to pick and set up forms they want. So that maybe they have a round sheet they want to do, so they do it by everybody else, and so they can go and they can set those up, and then they go out and they can use any device. It is not an app. It is actually runs on a web browser. So if you have a device and you can get to the internet and you can get to allmacsoftware.com, it'll work for you. We did that intentionally so that we're not having to worry about updating apps. We just do it through a web browser. So any device will work. We've tested it on iPhones. We've tested it on Androids. We've tested it on, again, anything that has a browser to it. So if you got a Mac, you can go and put it out on a Mac, as long as you can get to the internet. That's all that really matters. And then what happens is once that is set up, when they go around, they do the rounds on a timed interval that will be defined by the user, by you guys as users. You can go and the data will automatically come back in to the right into the database, and it'll show up in your data views at that point. But that's something that's also coming out. That's coming out here with this next release as well. It's going to be coming out with it. Um, and again, some things to just think about right now. If you have questions on anything in our program, we do have our, you can go to our website. If you have not been to our website yet, one of the things that, and signed up in the portal, one of the things that I would recommend doing, and I completely recommend, is coming into our website, go to the customer portal, sign up for that. What that will do is this will allow you to go in and you will be able to access different things that we have, such as our tech support portal. We have that in there, downloads, things along that lines, and you can do that. So you can do that. So Don, you're asking about, will this be able to track things like BOD and total pounds brought in for the DMR reporting? That data that comes in septic hauling right now does not tie into regular location parameters. It's going to be just a different way of doing it. If we need different ways of tracking that information, get with me. We may be able to come up with a better way of working at it from that standpoint. Okay, drop me an email and maybe we can get things going from that standpoint of answering, getting that for BODs. Again, I didn't know if you were, and we'll talk about that a little bit more because I'm a little unclear about what we're wanting from that standpoint. But on the website, again, sign up for the customer portal, and it'll give you chances to just make things experience of asking questions. Um, the other thing that we have that we're going to be doing, we have on our website, is we have our little Allmax assistant asking questions. Who might have the answer for you. Um, Right now, I also was asked is, can the data be imported yet? They have a card reader system on our septic receiving that records date, time, gallons, etc. Um, as of right now, we have not. We do have something in the works for that. Number one, mobile. We've also looked at being able to pull it from SCADA. But again, that's that's a development thing that's running right now. We do not have it available right now. It's something that we're looking at what's going to be our best way of doing that. So that is something that will come down the road. So that is our webinar for this morning, for today. Again, we want to thank you for coming. You will be receiving a link to a recording for this and a follow-up email that they'll be sending out. Also, just to let you know, Christian did put in the chat, if you didn't see it, there is a link to the mobile, the Operator10 mobile feature. There's a link in the chat. If not, go to our website or contact sales and we can get a hold of you from that. Again, just want to thank you for the time today. Thank you very much for coming. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Again, reach out through the portal, reach out through sales or however, and we will answer any questions we have. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great day.